Hey everybody, I'm out here with Jacob Bird at Victory Junction, home of the 5th annual Campership Classic. Today we're going to take you through the course preview for the tournament that's in a couple weeks. And here's Jacob to tell you a little bit about the tournament and the camp as a whole.
Hey guys, Jacob here. I'm the camp program director at Victory Junction. Welcome to the 5th annual Campership Classic. We could not thank you guys enough. I do want to shout out Dynamic Disc, who is our presenting sponsor this year. They have been a part of the Campership Classic since the beginning. Just real quickly, what Victory Junction is: we're a camp for children with chronic illnesses and serious medical conditions, and we give them a life-changing camp experience. For campers ages 6 to 16, they can come for the summer. We are year-round residential. We have summer programs as well as family weekends in the fall and spring. But thanks to COVID, we're doing some adaptable programming. So I definitely want to thank you so much for visiting this page, checking out our course preview, to all the participants that have signed up, all the sponsors and clubs that make this event possible, and most importantly you, because without you, this wouldn't be possible. And the money that is raised here for the Campership Classic goes directly to the kids coming to camp. So thank you guys so much.
All right, here we are, hole 1, 287 feet. Up on the green, you'll have water left, and you'll have the fence OB long, both playing right about circle's edge. Hole 2, 216 feet. Yes, throwing through this tunnel is mandatory. The Mando is just these first 2 poles here, so once you're in, you don't need to clear all the way through on your first shot. Once you're in, you can keep playing. You just can't flick out and around to try and get to the hole. As you can see, the hole finishes up to the right on that hill, just through the tunnel. The only OB that really doesn't come into play is if somehow you get enough air on it to get up over this hill. There is the pond up there, and that is going to play as out of bounds, but it's really hard to get to. Hole 3, 293 feet. Down this right side, there's going to be an OB line at the top of this hill. It's not going to be the water's edge. It's going to be the top of the hill right along these red pipes. On the far side of the bank, it is going to be water's edge. There'll be a white painted line connecting those two. And also over here on the left, you have the road that will play out of bounds. And right straight ahead on the other side of the trees, you can see the basket elevated up on top of the fire pit. And that's where we're headed to. Hole 4, 210 feet. Navigate all those trees. You can see the basket tucked down behind them. There is a backhand gap out to the right, kind of near that whitish tree, or you can take the forehand line up the gut. There is an OB tower to the right. If you're in the mulch, that's fine, but if you're over those wooden barriers and actually on the tower, under the tower in any way, that will be out of bounds. As you can see, it's going to take a pretty gnarly kick in order to even bring that OB tower into play, but it is up there to the right if you happen to get up there. Hole 5, 230 feet. The basket sits up to the left. You'll be able to see those yellow poles from the tee, and this basket is going to be elevated. It's going to be a hanging basket, so you will be able to see the basket from the tee. If you make it up on under any of that tower up there, that is also going to play as out of bounds. So as you can see, that tower does kind of come into play in this hole. You could get over there with a bad kick, or if you turn over a backhand. Again, this mulch is safe. The only out of bounds is if you are under or on top of that platform. Other than that, you're good to play it. Hole 6, 271 feet. Sits right down the hill straight ahead in that cluster of trees. The out of bounds you have to be aware of. On top of this upper zip line deck, underneath it you're able to play. On top of it will be out of bounds. The lower zip line platform, under it and on top of this out of bounds, and all those nasty looking rocks down the middle, you must take casual relief from that, so take it back right in line with the target, the first safe playable spot.
So one more thing we forgot to mention is there's going to be a white line painted on this wood line that's going to be also left attached.
Hole 7, 285 feet. Gap is, you could go up the gut at it. That's a little tricky. Main gap is out to the left. The only OB to worry about is if you end up on top of the roof over there, which I really hope you don't. Hole 8, 284 feet. Big hyzer over that roof. On the roof or in the water is out of bounds. The basket sits right down on the other side of the building next to that tree on the left. Hole 9, 240 feet. The only OB is if you end up on any rooftops to the right. This does have a road just left of the basket that is not out of bounds, but if you miss left, you're going to take a big skip. Welcome to Victory Circle. Here we are in hole 10, 300 feet. Gentle uphill shot. You can see that pine tree in the distance. The basket sits right to the base of that. This is actually the Dynamic Discs 5,000, 10,000 hole-in-one hole. If you throw it with a Dynamic Disc or something in that family, you get 10 grand for an ace. Any other disc will get you 5K, and that is for round 1 only. Any OB here is just any top of any buildings out of bounds. Nothing low you got to worry about. It was close, but I'm glad I didn't waste it, because again, that ace pool is only for round 1 of the tournament. Hole 11, 230 feet, just sitting right down there in the middle of the field. The tee box is going to be set back a little bit, so this railing will come into play. Don't be like someone in years past. You can see the mark right there. If you hit that and fall here, you will be throwing from up here again. Also, the only other OBs to worry about is if you end up on any of the rooftops. Hole 12, 232 feet. Basket sitting right down there along this road on the back side of that island. The road is not OB. You don't need to land on the island. The only OB to worry about is on this rooftop here or the rooftop of the blue building along to the right. So once you get on the island, just as reference from the tee, that red post you can see in the center of the island, it's about 20 feet from the basket. And that black post on that sign you can see is literally 5 feet away. So those are good reference points. Hole 13, 330 feet, plays right down the road. You can see those colorful tires in the distance. The basket sits right behind those. The OB here is any rooftops, and then the horse barn long. If you hit a horse, immediate DQ. Show up. Pretty good. Hole 14, 245 feet. You can see we have to carry over this OB horse fence here. Anything inside that fence is out of bounds. And you can see the basket up on the hill between those two pine trees right in that gap. There's a pretty steep drop off behind that basket. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Hole 15, 275 feet, playing significantly uphill. Nice little forehand skip off the road. We'll get you right to that basket sitting up there on the right. Hole 16, 171 feet, blind shot up over this hill. If you go too far, you're going to end up in some bushes. The only OB here is if you end up on top of that green roof to the right. Hole 17, 186 feet. You have a couple options. You can either play the wider sidearm route around the side playing down this paver path, or you can play the inside sidearm. OB is the fences that surround it, over any fence, left or right, or through the gate long. There will be a line marking that. If you go over either left or right, do not try and retrieve it during the round. Contact a staff member and they'll get it for you. Hole 18, 225 feet. Little tunnel shot down to the basket there, tucked left. The water to the right is OB. The road to the left is OB. Also, if somehow you end up on the roof of that house, you're also out of bounds. Hole 19, 175 feet. The road past the basket is out of bounds. If you somehow end up on that roof, you're way out of bounds. And also, the water down to the right is out of bounds.
Fade in. Oh.
Hole 20, 249 feet. Our finishing hole, riddled with OB. You have this road up along the left, out of bounds. You have the water out to the right, out of bounds. You have the fence long, out of bounds. There'll be a line connecting this end of the fence with the road just so that out of bounds line is clear. If you go out of bounds, you have the option of rethrowing from your previous lie, throwing from where it was last in bounds, or you can go to the drop zone, which is up there, the left side of the green. Drop zone's right here, about 90 feet out.